Hello, and welcome to the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Daisha, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items to share with you. First, your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists will not be able to see or hear you. However, you can communicate with them using that Q&A button on your screen to type any questions you have for our presenters at any time, and they will be able to respond to you directly. This is one of many different sessions that have happened tonight, and the session is being recorded, so you'll be able to visit strivescan.com/Ohio to view all of the recordings. I would now like to turn it over to our first presenter, the College of Wooster.
I got the presentation started, but I didn't start my video on mic. Hello and welcome. My name is David Newberry-Yoakley. I'm one of the admissions officers at the College of Wooster, and I've got 6 minutes here, so I'm going to jump right into my presentation. So the College of Wooster, there are really kind of three distinct things that we try to highlight about the school. We feel like these things separate us from some other very good institutions, and so that's what I'm going to focus on tonight. I'm going to focus on research, going to focus a little bit about our campus community, and also a little about the location. And we're going to start with location. So if you're not familiar with the College of Wooster, we are located about an hour south of Cleveland. I recruit the Central Ohio area, so about an hour and a half north of Columbus. So very accessible for visits if you want to come and check us out. City's about 30,000 people, and it's definitely a small town, but it also has a lot going on within that small town as well too. This is a great shot of our downtown area, which our students can walk to, or even take one of the shuttles to as well too. Lots of coffee shops, 4 or 5 coffee shops in downtown Worcester, lots of restaurants so that when your parents come to town, you're looking for a good local meal, they can take you out as well too. And also some really good thrift shopping. It's one of our students' favorite things to do in downtown Worcester. We also have access to our north end as well too. I call that the strip mall area because we all recognize what that is, but it has some really important things up there. There's a Starbucks, there's a Chipotle, there's a Five Guys. So our students have access to some things off campus, even though we are a small town. Most of what our students are doing is actually focused on campus. And this is a great shot of the entire campus, plenty of green space, beautiful campus. You can be across campus within less than 10 minutes. Our students can walk across campus. Number one question that we always get is, can I have a car? Yes, you can have a car on campus, but it's definitely not a necessity. Our students don't use that on a day-to-day basis. A couple of pictures just of kind of campus beauty pictures to kind of check things out. But I really want to spend a little bit of time talking about our student body. So we have just over 2,000 students at the College of Wooster, and those 2,000 students come around the country and around the world. And something that we're really proud of is our global campus is what we refer to it as, with about 17% of our students being international students, and then another 24% of being domestic students of color. So when you look at diversity at Worcester, about 40% of our students come from some type of diverse background. Another one of my favorite stats that's not on the screen here, but I'm going to point out, is that of the 2,000 students, 99% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. So we're talking about being a thriving community. Our students are there, they're involved, they're engaged on campus. And so that's something else we like to spend a little bit of time highlighting as well too. All right, so in terms of being involved on campus, there's so much to be involved with. One of my favorite days on campus is called Scott Spirit Day. It's the first Friday of class. If you remember what college fairs used to look like, we set up all these tables in our main quad, and all of our student organizations, 130 of our student organizations are there. And you can just walk around as a first-year student and figure out how you want to be involved and how you want to be engaged in the Worcester community. So it's a lot going on. About a third of our students you can see on the screen are involved in music or a musical ensemble on campus. A third of our students are involved in varsity athletics, and another fourth are involved in music, theater, or dance. Theater or dance. With theater or dance and also music, even if you're not majoring in music, theater, or dance, Worcester still has scholarship opportunities available for you as well too. And so again, if those are areas of passion for you, great ways to get involved. Also a nice opportunity to earn some additional scholarship dollars as well. Last thing I'm going to talk about here is undergraduate research, and this is probably the most unique thing academically about the College of Wooster. The College of Worcester requires every single student to sit down their senior year and work one-on-one with the Wooster faculty member, kind of like Jeff Lantis and the student here, with the Wooster faculty member to do a research project, right? So if I'm at the very top of my class and I'm one of the best students in my class, I have that opportunity to work with a faculty member to complete a research project. If I'm also maybe at the very bottom of the class and I'm just kind of hanging on, but I'm still going to graduate, that same student still has an opportunity to work one-on-one with the Wooster faculty member. Your job is to come to the table with an idea. This is something that I would like to learn more about. And so it's very much about the students' interest and their passion within their department. When you come to the table and say, Professor Lantis, here's a research project, or here's an idea that I have, and I want to learn more about it. Jeff Lantis goes, great, let's get to work on that. And for that entire year, you work one-on-one with that faculty member to complete a research project. This is a little bit of what it might look like if you're in the sciences. People oftentimes relate to this, but oftentimes this is also one of what it might look like if you're doing something that's a more creative project, or the first picture is probably the best representation of that experience with our students meeting with a faculty member for about an hour once a week to work on the research project as well. We think very highly of research at Wooster, and here are some of the things that we think that research helps to develop. We think it does a great job of preparing students for graduate school, if that's the route you end up taking, or if you're looking for that first job or you're going to start a career. We think it's great project management skills. It's something that our students learn from that research project as well too. Last thing I'll say is that we think the world of independent study, but it's also nice to get recognition from other folks about undergraduate research or our experience. Since 2002, U.S. News and World Reports has asked college presidents and deans who does the best job of undergraduate research and senior capstone experiences. And since 2002, the only two schools that have been on that list every single year have been Wooster and Princeton University. So really proud of that. Thank you for your time. I got to sign off. If you have questions, let me know in the Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, College of Wooster. Our next institution is Ohio Wesleyan University.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lori Patton. I'm the Director of Admission here at Ohio Wesleyan University, and also a graduate, class of 1995, and the parent of two students who've attended Ohio Wesleyan. And this always stresses me out to only have 6 minutes to talk to you about Ohio Wesleyan and all the great things we have to offer. But I often say that if you only remember one thing about our conversation tonight, I want you to remember about our signature program that we call the OWU Connection. The OWU Connection is how we encourage students to think big through interdisciplinary work, undergraduate research, and independent study projects, to go global through off-campus experiences like traditional study abroad semesters, through something that we call travel learning courses, or even through our unique Theory to Practice grant program, which provides full funding for faculty, students, and staff to do individualized projects that are of interest to them. And we encourage students to get real. And we do that through internships, externships, and other experiences that help students to connect with their learning in the classroom and practice it in real world settings. Now, while the Ohio OWU Connection is not yet required, we do know that more than 90% of OWU graduates will have done at least one experience in the OWU Connection. Many of them do more than one, just like Eva Blockstein pictured here. She did several connection experiences before graduating. And similar to Wooster, we believe that students who participate in these connection experiences are more likely to get into graduate school and or a job in their field of choice upon graduation. Some basic facts and figures: Ohio Wesleyan has just over 1,400 students on campus. A little more than half of those students do come from Ohio. 7 to 10% of our students in any given year are international students. Roughly 20% are US students of color. Because we're a small school, we have small classes. The average class size is about 15 students. More than 95% of our students live in on-campus housing all 4 years. Our GPA average is about a 3.6. roughly 40% of our students participate in one of our 24 varsity sports programs. And fun fact, we just added an esports team, which will start next year. And about 35% of our students are involved in Greek life through fraternities and sororities. Ohio Wesleyan is rather unique in that we offer more than 70 majors, which for a school of our size and type is about double. 29% of our students actually choose 2 majors, and our top 5 most popular majors, just by sheer numbers, but in no particular order: zoology, business, psychology, health and human kinetics, and politics and government. We feel like we are uniquely positioned in the small town outside of a big city. You may know that Columbus is just about 25 minutes south of our campus, and Columbus is the state capital as well as the 14th largest city in the US. OWU itself is smack dab in the heart of downtown Delaware. In fact, our campus straddles our main street through town, pictured on the left in this slide. So our students have access to things within walking distance, shopping, restaurants, entertainment, and the like. But because Columbus is just a stone's throw away and easy access to the big city, our students have additional entertainment outlets, social opportunities, shopping, the chance to serve, internships, and more. We were fortunate to just complete the phase 1 of a multi-year residential renewal project. The pictures on the top left and middle represent the renovation of Smith Hall, which is now home to all first-year students. Smith has all double rooms. It also has its own workout facility, a gaming room, and a 24/7 dining hall. The bottom picture is of Bradford Milligan Hall. This is a building that was just constructed. It is Ohio Wesleyan's first apartment complex on campus, and it houses about 120-ish seniors. Top right represents the Branch Rickey Arena, which is home to basketball, volleyball, and wrestling, and it got a facelift with new bleachers, flooring, air conditioning, and the like. Ohio Wesleyan's all-in price with tuition, room, board, and fees is just over $62,000 on paper. However, we offer 99% of our students are receiving scholarships and or need-based aid. That average package this past year was over $43,000, bringing the average cost down to roughly $18,000. We achieve that discount through a variety of scholarships that we award regardless of test scores. Ohio Wesleyan is a test optional institution. Those scholarships range from $20,000 up to full tuition. Some are based on talent, some are based on community service. If you're an Ohio student choosing a STEM field at Ohio Wesleyan, you might qualify for the Choose Ohio First grant. There are many scholarships to be considered for. And lastly, I'll just mention that we are open for in-person visitors. We have campus tours and information sessions Monday through Friday and on most Saturdays. We have on-campus in-person group programs throughout the fall and spring. We'll continue to do our virtual opportunities, including a live virtual tour where you can follow around a tour guide live. We use a stabilizing camera and you can see campus from the comfort of your own couch. I have included my contact information on this last slide, and I'll put my email in the chat. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and enjoy the rest of tonight's presentations.
Thank you, Ohio Wesleyan. Our next institution is Drexel University.
Hi, good evening, everyone. There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Santana. I am one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admissions here at Drexel University. We're located right in the city of Philadelphia. To get started in terms of where we are located, and we are a comprehensive research university. We have the highest level of research distinction that a university can be awarded. So all students across all majors have access to cutting edge research at Drexel. Here at Drexel, we're home to about 14,500 undergraduate students across 13 different colleges and schools, over 80 different majors for our students to choose from, over 100 different minors for our students to choose from that range from biological science to fashion design to finance, engineering, and everything in between. So we have everything that a student could be interested in studying at Drexel. Our students come from about 47 different states and 122 different countries. I'm actually coming to you all live from Ohio, where I have been recruiting for the last 2 weeks before I head back to Philadelphia. So we do get a lot of students from the Ohio State as well. And then some fun facts in terms of Drexel. We are the only school that has a dragon as a mascot at our university. So that was a little fun fact for everyone here. And then just a little bit about what we're really known for at Drexel. We're really known for our cooperative education program, or co-op for short. Our co-op program is the largest of its kind. We partner with around 1,500 companies across 40 countries and 39 states. And all students at Drexel have access to co-op experience. Students will graduate with anywhere between 6 months to 18 months of full-time work experience in their field. And 96% of students at Drexel complete at least one co-op in their time at the university. And about 80% of our co-op positions are paid, where students can earn an average salary of around $19,000 in the 6 months that they're working. This is where you're able to test drive your career and really explore what it's like to work in your major before you graduate from the university. At Drexel, we are a quarter school in terms of our academic curriculum. We offer a 4-year curriculum and a 5-year curriculum to accommodate co-op. The biggest difference between the two is the amount of time students spend away on co-op. In a 4-year curriculum, students would complete one 6-month-long co-op in their 3rd year. In a 5-year curriculum, students would complete 3 6-month-long co-ops, graduating with a total of 18 months of full-time work experience. Cost of attendance is the same for both curriculums, since students are spending the exact same amount of time in the classroom, whether they do a 4-year or a 5-year. At Drexel, we have a lot of opportunities for students to get involved outside of the classroom. We are a Division I school in terms of athletics. We have all of your major Division I sports, 30 sororities and fraternities for students to get involved in, 34 club sports, 22 intramural sports, as well as 350 other student organizations for students to get involved in, 65 countries that we partnership for study abroad, as well as performing arts ensembles for students to participate in, where you can be awarded a performing arts scholarship. And we have 40 of those. You don't have to be a performing arts major to get involved in that. So we have a lot to offer for our students here at the university that range from activities to club sports to, just regular clubs, as well as research, performing arts, and everything in between there as well for our students. At Drexel, we are located right in University City, which is a subsection of the Philadelphia area. Even though we are an urban campus, you really do get the feel of being on a college campus, because in the University City area, there is a total of 40,000 college students across 3 universities. So you really do get that feel of being on a college campus when you're at Drexel. And you have access to some amazing food and restaurants on campus and through food trucks in the local Philadelphia area too. Here are all of the application materials. Our application for early action and early decision is coming up on November 1st. I do like to highlight that we are test optional for the fall of 2022 and the fall of 2023. So any seniors or juniors, you don't have to submit test scores to apply to any of our programs at the university, with the exception of a BSMD program. And if you have questions about that, I can answer those questions for you all. Thank you so much for joining us this evening to learn a little bit more about all of the college presence. If you have any questions, I am your direct point of contact, so you can always email me. And this is my contact information, and I'll also drop it in the chat box. Thank you all so much for joining.
Thank you, Drexel University. As a quick reminder, you can send questions to our panelists using that Q&A button on your screen, so please feel free to send those over before we wrap up tonight's session. Our next institution is the University of Pittsburgh.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Archer. I'm the Ohio Territory Manager for the University of Pittsburgh. So what I wanted to do today is start off is to take you to campus. So as out-of-state students, I'm not sure if any of you had a chance yet to make it to Pitt's campus, but a lot of students here, University of Pittsburgh, and then they think that we're right in the middle of the city. So we're actually about 10 minutes away. The bottom left, you can see that's a picture of downtown Pittsburgh. The point where the fountain is where the three rivers intersect. And then the bottom middle picture, the really big building, is the Cathedral of Learning. It's really the heart and soul of Pitt's campus. This picture was actually taken at Shenley Park, which is about a 5-minute walk from the Cathedral of Learning. So on one side of campus, you have about 10 minutes away downtown Pittsburgh with all the resources that a major city has. And then 5-minute walk on the other side of campus, you have a huge park with hiking, biking, running trails. You have an ice skating rink, you have a golf course, swimming pool. So it's really the best of both worlds and creates a really unique campus for our students. When you apply to Pitt, you apply to one of the 6 entry-level schools. So for example, if you're interested in something like bio or chem, political science, English literature, you would apply to the School of Arts and Sciences. We review you for one of these 6 schools and not a specific major. The reason why is because we want you to come to Pitt, take a year or two, see what we have to offer, see what you like as a student, and then at the end of that first or second year, you would officially declare what you want your major to be. So that's why we review you for 6 specific schools and not necessarily a major. So keep that in mind if you're applying, to make sure you select one of those schools that you're most interested in. A little bit more on the application process. There are 3 different ways that you can apply. So we're on the Common App, which is by far the most popular for Ohio students. About 90% of our Ohio students apply Common App. We have our own application, and then we're also on the Coalition application. So whatever way is easier for you as a student, we have no preference, so completely up to you. We accept 2 test scores. So the SAT, we will super score your highest evidence-based reading and writing section, your highest math section. We can put those 2 together. For the ACT, we look at the overall composite score, so we cannot super score that. But keep that in mind if you're interested in submitting test scores. We're also, though, test optional. So you can either submit an SAT, an ACT, or apply as a test optional student. If you're applying test optional, you can still be considered for all of the scholarships, freshman guarantee programs, Pitt Honors College, anything like that. So it is really up to you. We do publish our admitted student profile online. So if you're maybe trying to decide if you should submit a test score or not, take a look at that middle 50% range, and it'll give you a pretty good idea of where students fall usually if they're submitting test scores. And the other big thing, we're going to skip this video just because of time, but I just wanted to summarize a little bit how important supplemental information is. Especially if you're applying test optional, we do require students to submit either a personal statement or the Common App essay. One or the other, it's completely fine. You don't have to submit both. But we will look for that if you aren't submitting a test score. And even if you are going to submit a test score, we still encourage students to submit some type of writing because it really can enhance your application outside of just your academics that we see on your transcript. We practice rolling admissions, so there's no early action, early decision. There's no actual deadline on when you have to put your application in. We really encourage students to apply as early as possible. The reason why is because if you apply, you can receive your admission within 3 to 4 weeks of your application, and then you have until May 1st to make your decision. So there's no downside to applying early, getting that admission letter, and then having your chance to hear back from other schools, visit other places, come to Pitt, whatever it might be. With that in mind, there are a few key dates. So there's no actual deadline for admission, general admission, but if you're interested in like the med school guarantee, that has a November 1st deadline. Any student interested in the Pitt Honors Program, you have to apply by December 1st and submit an additional essay, which is going to be right on the Common App or our application if you're applying to Pitt. December 1st is also the scholarship deadline. Any student who applies prior to December 1st is going to be automatically considered for scholarships. So it's nice, there's nothing else additional you have to do or submit, just get that application in. We've actually already started awarding scholarships, so about the past 2 or 3 weeks. So again, if you apply early, that gives you a better chance of general admission, but also a better chance of a scholarship or a higher scholarship, which I know is important usually for out-of-state students. And then lastly, January 15th is the PA guaranteed deadline. So the last thing, why Pitt? Obviously, I know as Ohio students, you have a lot of good choices in state, and obviously you're hearing from a lot of different schools tonight. But what are a few things that help set Pitt apart? So it's a nice trip for Ohio students if you kind of want to get a little bit far away, but only 2, 3, 4 hour drive. So if you're trying to stay somewhere in this area, Pitt was the #1 public college in the Northeast by Wall Street Journal Times Higher Education. We were named one of the 50 most innovative universities in the world. Over 100 different majors and minors that you can study at Pitt. We're a mid to large size school. So even though we have 19,000 full-time undergraduates, we have a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio, over 400 student groups, organizations, hospitals around campus, D1 athletics, and then a 93% retention rate. So if anyone else has additional questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But my email is also C as in Chris, V as in Vincent, Z as in zebra, and then the number 1 at pitt.edu. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, University of Pittsburgh. Our next institution is Terra State Community College.
Okay, hope everybody can see this. One of the big things we have with Terra is create your future at Terra State. So this is a great starting point for you to start. Mission and values. Our mission is to provide the highest quality education and training to our students, faculty, staff, and community. Our vision is to be the model for academic excellence, student focused, and a community engagement. We want to be involved with the community, the students, and everybody. Our mission policy is Terra State has an open door policy. This means if you apply, and you're going to get accepted. That's the way that works. We have 3 divisions within our institution. So if you are thinking about majors, there's 3 different ways you can go. We have an allied health, nursing, and science division. So these divisions serves as houses for various healthcare programs, along with the police academy, mathematics, and sciences. So nursing is one of we are accredited with every hospital in the state of Ohio. So if you're looking to get into nursing or the healthcare profession, we are one of the #1 schools in the area to do that. We also offer a police academy so when you go in the police academy, you can't be a police officer, you're 21 in the state of Ohio. Why you should get an associate's or a bachelor's degree if you are going to be a police officer, this allows you to move up within those ranks. So if you want to be a sergeant and be a head of the department, then that associate's and that bachelor's degree is going to allow you to do that. Our liberal arts and business division. This division serves as houses for various businesses and transfer programs, along with accounting, marketing, music, and more. We have a music division. We have our own recording studio. We have numerous graduates that are working on shows called The Voice and on American Idol, and have also recorded their own record labels. As far as accounting goes, if you want to go to business and marketing, you start here. We have a business pathway. You get your first 2 years out at Terra, you transfer to a 4-year college. If your GPA is high enough, they may give you a scholarship money while they're at that school, so you can pay Terra's prices while you're at a 4-year university. And our technology and skilled trades division. These divisions serves and houses various skilled trade programs, along with computer systems, welding, electricity, and more. So if you're looking for a skilled trade, what is very, very popular right now within the whole United States, we have a whole division dedicated to skilled trades. So what does that mean? Many schools do not offer skilled trades. Terra does. You can come to Terra, get that certificate for that skilled trade, whether it be automotive, electricity, HVAC. You can also get an associate's degree within those. Your associate's degree, just like what I talked about with the police force, will allow you to move up within whatever job you're working for. Our faculty are key in the success of our students. They serve as instructors, mentors, and helping shape the next generation. Our instructors have been in the field, they've done it, they've worked it. So they are not only have high quality education, they have the experience to back it up to show you what they've experienced and how they've done it to show you how to do that job correctly. We want to engage you. All of our program offers hands-on experience to prepare you for your future career. Many students want hands-on. It's just not sitting in a classroom and going forward. We have an education pathway that if you want to be a school teacher, you can come to Terra for the first 2 years. Your first year, you're going to be in the classroom experiencing what it's like to be teaching and what it's like to be dealing with children. Student resources. You are never alone at Terra State. You always have access to these free resources to better your education and college experience. So there's all kinds of resources at Terra State to help you be successful. Clubs and organizations. We have a book club, Christian Fellowship, Dragons and Dungeons, which everybody says, what's Dragons and Dungeons? That's Dungeons and Dragons, but we had to word it that way just for copyright laws. So if you're into that, we have a drone club where you fly drones around. Health information technology, student education, and the medical assisting student education has to do with everything in the medical field. So you can get in that. And that is all has to do with everybody that's in healthcare. Multicultural Student Union, Music Ensemble, Phi Theta Kappa, Proud Terra, Student Government, and the Student Nursing Association. Get involved. We have organizations for everyone who wants to be involved in campus. We have athletics now. So our athletics, many people don't realize, I'll go back to that, is I'm very proud to say I just found out that the Terra Titan volleyball team for our division is now ranked number 6 in the country. So I'm very excited about that for those Titans. Campus living, we have the Landings Residence Hall. So it is not really, when you think of a college, you think of a dorm. It's not really a dorm, it's more of an apartment. So you have a huge bathroom. The bathroom actually on campus is bigger than mine. You have your own fridge, your own stove, and you have laundry to do. So your laundry is free. With Ohio Transfer Module, the students are guaranteed that any class that you take at Terra will transfer to any college in the state of Ohio. If you look at cost analysis, Terra State is $5,064 compared to every other state college in the area. So you can see how affordable we are. And that is it. So we're done.
Thank you, Terra State Community College. Our final institution presenting is Texas A&M University.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, Tara, can we have you stop sharing real quick? It's okay, I think I can override it. There we go. Okay, howdy everyone. My name is Libby. I'm the regional advisor for Texas A&M University based out of the Midwest. It's good to have y'all here. Pardon a little bit of the crud. It's that time of year, right? Okay, so let's talk Texas A&M. First things first. We are the Texas A&M Aggies. You see Miss Reveille to the right of the screen. She is our living, breathing mascot who lives on campus full-time, and she is a celebrity for sure. So you see these folks over here are students, and it says howdy on their shirts. That is our true greeting. And yes, guys, we're Texas, so we do say howdy. You'll get used to it, I promise. Looking a little larger in scale. So A&M this last year was the largest university in the country with over 71,000 students. Still yet ranging at about a 20-to-1 student teacher ratio, which I think is really impressive whenever you think of that large of a number. This year, looking at students, we'll loop back around to research again, but looking at this last year's class, we just got the numbers hot off the press, 11,986 students. That's what we are working with that created our Fightin' Texas Aggie class of 2025. Of those, almost 12,000 students, we did have over 55,000 applications come in, guys. So whenever I say Texas A&M is big, I think it's big. Of those students, 594, you see, were either valedictorian or salutatorian of their class. We also had 249 students that were National Merit semifinalists. So if that is looking to be you this year, congratulations, we'd love to chat. Of the 55,000 that applied, about 27,000 were admitted, and you see we have just shy of 12,000 students that made up that freshman class. So Another little stat I like to throw out there, especially this time of year, looking at the application, the average amount of hours that we had of service or volunteer hours per student was about 196. So just something to keep in mind. Now, looking at academics, I like to throw that out there. Again, we're a large STEM heavy university. College of Engineering is by far our largest, loudest, proudest. But again, we just got these numbers hot off the press. So I like to give you guys a little more info. In no particular order, our top 10 majors from this year's class we just admitted was business administration, biology, computer science, which is no shock there, psychology, aerospace engineering, animal science. Again, we have one of the best veterinarian programs, not just in the nation, but on this entire planet. So it makes sense. Animal science would be big as well. Kinesiology and then biomedical engineering makes up number 10. So again, STEM heavy university. Mays Business School is by far our smallest. College of Engineering is by far our largest. So speaking of application, especially seniors, it's October. Thank you for hanging in there tonight. Let's talk app. Okay, so first things first is the application for admission itself. This counts for two things, not just admissions, but also scholarships. I want to throw that out there now. So please keep that in mind. You can find us either on the Coalition app or on Apply Texas. Tomato, tomato, pick one. But I do want to throw it out there. We are not part of Common App. Juniors, if you're listening for next year, still likely not to be a thing. So just a heads up. Then we have SAA, which everybody will be partaking in. Engineering students, you will have an additional essay, so please keep that in mind. There is an application fee of either $75 for our domestic students or $90 for international. Then we require something that's called the self-reported academic record, or SRAR. Please do not email me about the SARS. That's a virus, friends. SRAR, self-reported academic record, okay? Instead of having your counselor send in your transcripts during the application process, you'll create your own self-reported academic record, right? Cuts out the middleman and it gives you a little extra time, okay? I also want to point out that we do require a class rank, okay? This is not uncommon for the state of Texas. So if you are a student thinking, I don't have a class rank, not a problem, we will work with you, but you will need to email me, okay? So the other couple of things that are optional for our students, ACT, SAT, again, seniors this year, test optional. Juniors, if you're listening, we shall see, okay? Letters of recommendation are also optional. We will take up to 2. From there, application is already open, alive, and well, guys, and that application is due, hard deadline of December 1st. From there, I live in Chicago and I work with all Midwest students, and I hop over to Ohio from time to time. But no matter when you're seeing this or where you're seeing this, feel free to reach out to our counselors. And guys, thank you so much. Best of luck. I know October can be a little hectic. Thanks and gig 'em.
Thank you, Texas A&M. I would now like to invite all of our panelists to join me on video as we have time for a quick Q&A. All right, so I have a question for you and feel free to popcorn your answers. What is one myth you would like to debunk about the college admissions process?
Start. Sorry. My myth that I'd like to debunk is always about the cost of private institutions. I think that I mentioned this in my comments, but oftentimes students and families automatically assume that private institutions must be too expensive and unaffordable. But after scholarships and aid, we can be just as affordable, sometimes more affordable than larger state universities. So don't throw our brochures in the trash just yet. I'll popcorn it to David.
Well, I was gonna say a similar thing. What I was gonna mention is Worcester has a program, it's live until November 1st, called the Early Aid Estimator, which essentially is a mock application that you can complete probably about 15 to 20 minutes. And what we're doing essentially is trusting your answers, but if those answers are accurate, we're giving you a really strong estimate for your cost at the College of Wooster. So you don't need to wait till you apply to figure out what your cost might look like. you can figure out within a week after completing the early aid estimator of what your scholarship's going to look like at the College of Wooster. You can also do an estimate for a merit scholarship, for need-based aid as well too. But it definitely, like Lori is saying, private schools can be affordable as well. And I'm going to popcorn to Chris.
So one thing I would say in terms of the admissions process and out-of-state students, I get a lot of questions about, like, are Ohio students, for example, at a disadvantage because we're a state-related university? So actually we're about 43, 44% out of state, and we hope to bring that closer to 50-50. So if anything, like, applying from out of state is actually going to be to an advantage because we want like a diverse background from socioeconomic status, geographic, racial, religious, whatever it might be. So it really is kind of to your benefit applying to an out-of-state university for Pitt as we're trying to increase that total. So there's no like in-state quota we're trying to hit or anything like that. So don't be afraid to apply to out-of-state institutions because it really actually can be an advantage in the application process. I'll send it over to Emily.
Thank you. I feel like the biggest myth for us is, since we are an urban campus, a lot of people think that our campus is really spread out. We're actually very centrally located. All of our academic buildings and our residence halls are located right in the University City area at Drexel. So not all college campus that are in the middle of a city are very spread out throughout the city. Some of us are really close together, and you really do feel like you're on a college campus, because a lot of times students are like, you can't feel like you're on a college campus if you're in the middle of a city. And trust me, you definitely can feel like that at Drexel. And I'll send it over to Libby.
Let's see. About the college application process, guys, I've been doing this for almost 8 years. I know I don't look it like I look like a freshman. If I have to say one thing that's a myth for my Chicago students that I work with, because I see that in Ohio, I don't know about you, but guys, please don't apply to 30 different universities. You don't need to. All you're doing, every single one of us has an application fee. Yes, maybe we use waivers, but y'all, like, that's money before you even get in the door. Okay, now's the time to really do that research to narrow down your choices. I like to see 5 or 6 schools that students apply to realistically, but even that for some students, that's a bit much, right? So please just don't feel like you need to apply to every university just because there's not a one true fit, right? You may have 6 or 7 schools that would do well enough for you. So don't put the pressure out there to apply to everything and see what happens. Do your research. And then last but not least, I'll pop it back over to Terra State.
All right, thanks for saying, yeah, my name is not Kylie, it's Ron. So I'm going to throw that out there. I found out about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes that I was doing this. So I had to put this together real quick and real fast. Poor Kylie has some stuff going on. There is a myth about community colleges that you may not get a good education there, but you do. I started out at community college. I was a school teacher for 8 years. I spent my first 2 years, actually, I'm a Terra alum. I left Terra and went and got my teaching degree at another college, double majored, and then I went and got to another college and got my master's. But it all started out at a community college. I'll tell you, some of the education parts that I did at the community college were actually harder than some things I did in my master's class. So there's a myth out there that you can't get that a community college isn't a great education. That is a huge myth. We bring in great people. We're going to work the student. We're going to make sure you have the skills that you need to be successful, and you're going to pay a lower price. So that's all I have to add to that. So.
All right, and I have time for a really quick one. Think of it as a lightning round. What is one thing you would like students to remember about your university or college?
I'll start because mine's really easy. I mentioned it during my remarks, but if you remember only one thing, is that it's about our OU Connection, the signature program that allows you to travel, do research, and do internships. And I'll popcorn it to David.
I would say the undergraduate research experience for the College of Wooster, that one-on-one opportunity to connect with a faculty member and to have a mentor throughout your entire college experience. And I'm going to follow the same order. And I think that we lose Chris. So I'll go with who was after Chris. It was Emily.
Yes, for Drexel, it would definitely be co-op, anywhere between 6 to 18 months of full-time work experience where you're working in your field and earning a salary as a full-time staff member of the companies that you're working with. It is a valuable hands-on experience that you really do get at Drexel across all majors. So I'll send it on over to Libby.
Folks, when I say big, I mean big. Like whenever I say one of the largest in the country, I mean, we're waiting on Ohio State and Arizona and Florida to see this year who's the largest university. But whenever I say big, think big and all the opportunities that come with it. So yeah. All right, Terra State.
All right, go from thinking big to thinking small. Very affordable, transferable, saving money. So that's what I have.
Wonderful. Thank you all for presenting tonight and sharing so much information about your institutions. We are now out of time for our event today, but I'd like to share my screen just one more time and share a few final thoughts with you all. So thank you to our panelists, but also thank you to our attendees. Thank you to those who joined us live, as well as those who are watching on demand. For our live viewers, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. You will be able to view the recording for this session, as well as all of the other sessions at stridescan.com/Ohio. Thank you once again, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.